Chapter 2137, Promotion to the Fifth Level of God. The battleship left deep space, returning to the surface. After checking the star map, it was discovered that it was not far from the human race's star domain. At the same time, sensing the cosmic tree, there was no longer any response. Resurrected beings can only exist for 100 days, and more than 200 days ago, the cosmic tree had already dissipated. Perhaps in the future, new cosmic trees will appear in the great world, but they will not be this one. Lin Moyu sensed the last location of the cosmic tree, which was not far from himself, only 200 million kilometers away. The command he had given to the cosmic tree was to follow him after killing the beings from the other shore and to bring their bodies. As a resurrected being, the cosmic tree would fully execute Lin Moyu's commands. It followed Lin Moyu, carrying two broken bodies, until its time ended. With each step Lin Moyu took covering 100 million kilometers, in just 2 or 3 steps, he had reached the last known location of the cosmic tree. In the silent cosmos, 2 broken bodies floated. The bodies still emitted a powerful aura, telling of their strength in life. In this era, beings from the other shore are absolute powerhouses at the pinnacle of existence. Yet, they still died, their bodies not intact. Lin Moyu collected the 2 pieces of remains, then the skeletal hell emerged, and hellish spirits devoured the rest of the bodies. The bodies of the beings from the other shore, more valuable than tens of millions of divine sovereigns, significantly enhanced the area's aura. The last traces of the 2 beings from the other shore were erased, and they would become weapons for Lin Moyu. This is also karma, the cause of one day, the fruit of today. Without the power to resist, one can only accept. Lin Moyu sighed, and the law of immortality surged forth. Lin Moyu stepped into it, moving forward. The laws of time and space advanced from 24% to 40%, already sufficient for Lin Moyu to break through again. Whether in the realm of the soul or the physical body, neither posed an obstacle for Lin Moyu. As long as the laws of time and space met the requirements, he could break through. Walking in the river of the law of immortality, Lin Moyu's aura grew stronger, and in just half a day, he reached the 4th rank of the Divine Sovereign. The 4th rank of Divine Sovereign, also known as the mid-rank Divine Sovereign, faced the vast cosmic might without fear. Upon entering the 4th rank of Divine Sovereign, Lin Moyu could feel power surging throughout his body, both his physical body and soul strengthening. His purple-golden body shone brightly, the already perfected purple-golden body becoming even stronger. Standing in the river of the law of immortality, Lin Moyu felt the cosmic energies flowing through him. With a thought, 2 rivers of law surged forth with tremendous power, enveloping his body. At this moment, the law of immortality became the leader, with the laws of time and space as soldiers, obeying the leader's command. Lin Moyu continued forward, step by step, suddenly halting, stumbling upon something. Reaching down, he scooped up a piece of material from the river of law. The material was the size of a fist, resembling a pebble, half gray and half white, perfectly embodying the law of immortality. It was known that the river of law contained many treasures, and many divine sovereigns enjoyed exploring it for resources. Without deliberately searching, Lin Moyu unexpectedly obtained a piece of material. This material contained both the force of life and death, classified as Divine Sovereign Realm, and was considered a decent material. However, for Lin Moyu, materials of the Divine Sovereign Realm were somewhat inferior, of little use. Nevertheless, it was his first find from the river of law, holding some sentimental value. He casually stored it away and continued forward. His aura continued to strengthen, advancing towards the 5th rank of Divine Sovereign. The river of law was vast, its mysteries boundless. Lin Moyu advanced, his purple-golden light flickering ceaselessly, step by step, unaffected by the waves. Approaching the center of the river, reaching it would mean ascending to the 5th rank of Divine Sovereign. Suddenly, he stumbled upon something again. Reaching down, he found another piece of material, similar to the first. Lin Moyu found it strange. Although there are materials in the river of law, they are said to be scarce, often requiring a long search to find one. Having found 2 in a short period of time, is it due to good luck? Lin Moyu knew he was fortunate, but this was unusually so. After some thought, Lin Moyu considered another possibility. Other laws were practiced by many people. Although the river of law was vast, with many people entering at the same time, the chances of finding materials decreased. As far as he knew, he was the only one practicing the law of immortality. Meaning, in the river of the law of immortality, he was alone, with no competition. Thus, encountering materials and treasures was naturally more likely. Lin Moyu looked towards the depths of the river of law, which flowed from an unknown place, a region seldom reached by anyone. Legends say that in the depths of the river of law, hidden treasures shake heaven and earth, yet no one has ever obtained them. If there's a chance in the future, I might explore it. Moving forward again, finally crossing halfway, he arrived at the center between the two shores. Power surged from every part of his body, officially advancing to the 5th rank of Divine Sovereign. Standing in the river, looking towards the opposite shore, just crossing the river, stepping onto the other shore is to reach the realm of the other shore. If I continue this way, I might easily cross the limitations set by the rules. Those who only cultivate the soul and not the body will be stuck at the last step, their soul reaching the other shore, but their body unmoved. Therefore, they thought of using the blood path shortcut, utilizing the power of blood to form a blood path, aiding their physical body to cross the river. Shortcuts are always just shortcuts. Without the baptism of the river of law, even if one reaches the other shore, the foundation is unstable. In the future, even if one wants to make amends, it will be difficult. Upon reaching the realm of saints, it's impossible to construct a perfect world of rules, at best only ordinary levels, with the supreme being the utmost, and the heavenly beyond reach. Lin Moyu deeply understood that the path of cultivation is tightly linked, each step closely interwoven. A single misstep could lead to errors in every subsequent step, making correction difficult. Lin Moyu could only ensure that each step he took was solid, without error. Leaping out from the river of the law of immortality, Lin Moyu turned to look at the river of the law of space. There, a figure appeared. Lin Moyu knew it was but a phantom, having stepped into the river of the law of space. In the great world, those who mastered the law of space mainly belonged to the starry skyfish people, among a few starry giants. The person he sensed should be from the starry skyfish people. According to the cosmic tree, the starry skyfish people did not show themselves in the cosmic domain lightly. He had once been attacked by the starry skyfish people using a causal weapon. If not for his countermeasure, he might have been injured or even perished. The starry skyfish people's approach was domineering, unreasonable. Sensing it, that person was coming straight for him. Lin Moyu knew it was his recent use of the river of the law of space that had alarmed the other party. The phantom strode forward, quickly approaching Lin Moyu for an attack. His entire being was vague, not clearly visible. Because this was the river of law, the newcomer also used a soul, possibly only a fragment of a soul. Hello, Lin Moyu of the human race, my name is Yuchi Mei. Yuchi Mei, the leader of the starry skyfish people, possessing an imposing aura. Lin Moyu was neither humble nor arrogant, his tone indifferent. Have you come to kill me? Lin Moyu's tone was icy cold. When it came to someone intending to kill him, there was naturally no need for courtesy. If not for the cooperative relationship between the two clans and his good relationship with Wenqingru, he might have killed that person on the spot. Lin Moyu never showed mercy or spared enemies. It seemed that the person, who was called Chi Mei and felt Lin Moyu's killing intent, quickly explained, "Sir, please don't misunderstand. Previously, we had some conflicts in the Kafia library of the 24th lesson. Since Chi Mei came here, he must have prepared an explanation." Lin Moyu didn't want to hear any explanations. In the face of facts, any explanation was meaningless. He said, "Let's not dwell on the past. Just state your purpose." Chi Mei said, "Actually, I came to apologize." A saint-level figure actually apologized, showing a determination to put down his pride and apologize. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed slightly. Apologies are unnecessary. Apologizing is meaningless. Even if you say sorry 10,000 times, it's not as useful as practical compensation. Lin Moyu didn't care who took the blame. He wanted to see what use the acidity of the empty fish people's territory had. How sincere. Chi Mei seemed to have anticipated Lin Moyu's response and didn't hesitate. The human race is vast, and our family is prosperous. We shouldn't lack anything now. All right, I can make a promise to Mr. Lin. Anytime you need it, the empty fish territory can provide you with a learning record. A promise from a saint was seemingly valuable, but also somewhat empty. A promise was just a promise. Saying yes now didn't necessarily mean it would be fulfilled. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't easily believe it, but thinking about it, he had nothing specific to demand. Moreover, Chi Mei's identity was different. He was not only a saint but also the patriarch of the Starry Skyfish clan. Perhaps his promise might actually be effective. Of course, Lin Moyu wouldn't readily agree. He retorted, "Then let's make a contract." Chi Mei replied, "Of course, but Mr. Lin, can you specify the terms of the contract?" Lin Moyu smiled, "Voluntary." With that, Lin Moyu made a solemn vow in the name of the great world. As long as Chi Mei agreed to the promise he would make in the future, the incident of using a treasure to attack him would be considered non-existent, provided that the Starry Skyfish clan no longer provoked him. After Lin Moyu completed the oath, Chi Mei readily accepted it. With the constraints of the Great World runes, the effectiveness of the promise would be strengthened. After making the oath, Lin Moyu's attitude improved. "Is there anything else, clan chief?" Chi Mei replied, "I won't disturb Mr. Lin any longer." After saying this, his soul gradually dissipated, and Chi Mei, along with Lin Moyu, showed a hint of a smile. "I hope you won't regret it." In truth, Lin Moyu never really considered relying on the promise of the just-formed contract. He believed in his own strength. Instead of asking others for help, Lin Moyu trusted that as long as his fists were strong enough, he wouldn't need to rely on anyone. Promoting to the 5th rank of the Divine Nurturing Realm, coupled with the enhancements from each spell, especially the advancement of 2 ranks, the changes in the Undead Legion were the most significant. The Skeleton Acidic God reached the 8th rank of the Divine Sovereign, while the Death Dragon Knight ascended to the 9th rank of the Divine Sovereign, greatly enhancing their combat power. The Legion Dominator's strength had reached the level of half-step beyond, similar to Zhu Qiwu when he opened the Blood Path and fought. In addition, the Legion Dominator possessed extremely strong self-healing abilities. In a real battle, it was hard to determine who was stronger or weaker. What pleased Lin Moyu the most was that when the Breakthrough King, now fused with the Steppe Area Tranquil King, appeared in the starry sky, a vast area seemed to tremble, as if unable to withstand the power of the Skeleton King. After reaching the Beyond Realm, the Skeleton King gained a new ability, the ability to change size freely. It could shrink to as small as 10 meters, with smaller forms having faster speed but weaker strength. Conversely, larger forms had slower speed but increased strength. By maintaining a size between 10 meters and 10,000 meters, the Skeleton King could balance agility and strength. The diverse transformations of the Skeleton King, with its unparalleled abilities, made the battles more flexible. Finally reached the Beyond Realm. With the Skeleton King in the Beyond Realm, Lin Moyu felt confident in resisting various threats, especially since not all races had divine sovereigns. Moreover, races with beings in the Beyond Realm were rare, and having 5 divine sovereigns in the Beyond Realm, like the Skeleton King, was exceptional. Combined with runes, Lin Moyu believed that he alone could deter many other races. The Skeleton King changed its size according to Lin Moyu's will, varying from the Beyond Realm to a size where it seemed like it wanted to sleep. Its entire body, made of white bones, shimmered beneath the armor. The power of rules flowed throughout its body, and all previous rules had disappeared. Lin Moyu recognized the rule power of the Skeleton King as the White Bone Rule, borrowed from the density of Baidu, but he was unsure of its specific purpose. Attempting to have the Skeleton King demonstrate the White Bone Rule, Lin Moyu admitted he couldn't understand it. However, when the rule power appeared, even the master, Lin Moyu, felt a bit startled. He wondered what kind of power lay behind it. The White Bone Rule should be very powerful, but I still don't understand it. With 5 divine sovereigns in the Beyond Realm, except for a few races and powerful clans, I can basically ignore other races. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration struck, and Lin Moyu blurted out, "No, not right." With a sudden movement in his mind, the origin technique was activated. A tremendously powerful force transmitted from the Undead Legion, rapidly elevating his cultivation. Starting from the 5th rank of the Divine Sovereign, in the blink of an eye, he broke through all the way to the Divine Sovereign's peak. Threads of rule power were born, surrounding his entire body. In an instant, he surpassed the Divine Sovereign, reaching the half-step Beyond Realm. In terms of power, this was his strongest state. Now, with the continuous infusion of power, he finally broke through the boundaries and stepped into the Beyond Realm. Lin Moyu felt his own state, comparing it with the differences in the Beyond Realm from other divine sovereigns. Not truly crossing the river of laws, the manipulation of rule power is still far inferior to the real Beyond Realm. Rule power is the foundation of the Beyond Realm. The reason it is so powerful is that the entire body transforms into rule power. And I am still in the rule state, even. Lin Moyu glanced at the Skeleton King in front of him and felt that he might still be inferior. Regardless of how the Skeleton King achieved the Beyond Realm, there was not a trace of rule breath left in its entire body. From the Divine Sovereign to the Beyond Realm was a massive leap, but regardless, his strength had surpassed the Divine Sovereign. With the Skeleton King, he now had 6 beings in the Beyond Realm. His combat power had increased significantly. Putting away the Skeleton King, Lin Moyu muttered to himself, "It's time to start the second phase of the plan." In the former Buddha's territory, now the simplified residence of the merchant, the Starry Skyfish clan had set up an incredibly complex spatial array, forming a powerful surveillance and defense system. Utilizing space was the Starry Skyfish clan's most potent ability. In the core area, Chi Mei opened his eyes, and in an instant, more than 4 figures appeared by his side. An elder immediately asked, "Chief, how is it going?" Chi Mei breathed a sigh of relief. "It's considered resolved. Lin Moyu promised us, and we can treat those matters as if they never happened." "What price did the chief pay?" Chi Mei explained the process, and the elder sighed in relief. "That's good, at least he didn't make excessive demands." Shui Yan spoke in a deep voice. "This Lin Moyu is too terrifying, likely to become the second Dijon Tian. Moreover, the human race is currently so powerful, we cannot afford to provoke him for the time being." After some thought, he added, "Princess Chingru has a good relationship with Lin Moyu. Perhaps we can ask Princess Chingru to help and mediate for mutual understanding." The battleship once again sailed outside the territory, and Lin Moyu planned to carry out the second step of the plan to strengthen the Bone Hill. The skeleton held becomes stronger, making what he has to do next easier. The ghost tribe has already appeared, and there is no need to appear again for the time being. Moreover, the poison has not dissipated, so the unsuitable surface has been covered for the time being. The enlightenment caused by the 10 races together is more effective than individually, and the remaining Tau poison will be less. The remnants of this poison will only take 30 years to completely dissipate. Lin Moyu planned to let the Ghost Clan disappear for 30 years, and use these 30 years to get a few steps away from Banin, the founding god. At the Suzaku battlefield, in the army station, the Sword Saint looked at Lin Mohan with a slightly complicated look. Lin Mohan was cultivating at this time, and his descendants were in the process of retreating. Lin Mohan just said that she wanted to practice some practice and asked the Swordmaster to protect her. Then she entered a state of cultivation. This is not the first time this has happened. Even the demonic beasts in the country can beat them with their eyes. The same is true now. Her realm is steadily improving. She had only entered the other side for the first time before, and even her realm was not particularly stable yet. Those with sharp eyes could still see that there were still some principles left in her body. But now, Lin Mohan's remaining rules are rapidly changing. Lin Mohan is getting stronger. This kind of cultivation speed is amazing. The Sword Saint activated the formation to prevent anyone from disturbing Lin Mohan. At the same time, he guarded outside the formation, caressing Lulu. Saint Killer and Saint Fu came over together. Saint Killer looked at him for a few times and showed a smile. It seems that Lin's realm has improved again. The Sword Saint looked over with confusion in his eyes. The boy you are talking about, Lin Moyu, is that guy Lin Moyu? The Saint of Killing said, he will still know the Shield Lotus after being exposed. The Sword Saint was puzzled. Lin Mohan's strength has improved. What does it have to do with Lin Moyu? Saint Killer chuckled. What do you think? The Sword Saint raised his eyebrows and almost wanted to draw his sword on the spot. I don't want to guess. It's a difficult question. Killing the Holy Lord is pretending to be like me, and just don't say, what can you do to me? It has to be said that Saint Killer looks very indebted at this moment. Fu Xingzuan acted as the middleman. It's because of the resonance of blood. Every time Lin Xiaoyou's realm improves, Yin Han moves Fairy Han to improve the barrier pump. The Sword Saint was stunned on the spot, and it took a few seconds for him to suddenly realize, so that's it. No wonder Mohan's promotions were so real in the past few times. I didn't use the blood route, and it only took more than 10 years to reach the other side. I thought it was because Mohan had unparalleled qualifications, but it turned out to be because of the resonance of blood. Fu Xingzuan shook his head. It's not entirely caused by bloodline resonance. Fairy Han's own talent should also be extremely strong. Nero bloodline and others cannot have this effect. After knowing that Lin Mohan had blood resonance, several saints studied a large amount of relevant information through the Human Emperor Network. In the end, it was concluded that although bloodline resonance plays a huge role, one's own qualifications are equally important. If Lin Mohan's qualifications were average, it would be impossible for him to be so embarrassed. The Saint Killer smiled disdainfully and said, "You guys know nothing, you only know one but not the other." After the sword fight, the Sword Saint took out his sword and pointed it at the Killer Saint. "Are you itchy?" Shazun made a sound. "You can't catch up with me now." Behind Saint Killer, there was a mass of mist rolling. With the help of the resentful spirit of Shimu, the combat power of Killing Saint has soared, and it looks like I am not afraid of you. Zhang Xingzuan didn't know when he came here and said with a smile, "What else does Lao Sha know?" "Follow Qiu Jiang." Saint Killer said, "Boy Lin said that his sister has a talent for cultivation, which can increase her cultivation speed by more than 100 times. I was just thinking that the effect caused by bloodline resonance will probably be affected by talent, which will increase it 100 times. Several people looked at each other. The bloodline resonance was already perverted enough, and with the help of this kind of talent, it would really be a waste. The Sword Master sighed. It's really a show that combines the talents of heaven and earth. The War Saint shook his head. After all, it may be the reincarnation of an ancient great power. It cannot be speculated. With extremely strong cultivation talent, bloodline resonance, and the bloodline inheritance of ancient powerful powers, the planning process is very easy and effortless. Everything made Lin Mohan as bright as a star. The feeling of the two siblings can only be described in 2 words, monsters. In the eyes of several saints, they are monsters living apart from each other. The ancestral star of the demon race is burning with the rockets and arrows of the abyss. It seemed as if a big hole had been opened in the void, and all the people were glued together. At the bottom of the flame waterfall, the Abyss Demon Lord was bathed in flames, and his breath was gradually recovering. It's just that the recovery speed is very slow and takes a lot of time. Lin Mohan's sword made the world prosperous according to his rules. The world of rules is everything to the Holy Lord. The world of rules was damaged, and his body and soul were also damaged. However, the Abyss Demon Lord knew that the main reason why he was defeated was because of the Immortal Skull. It's obviously his magic weapon, yet it's because he is a member of hundreds of millions of people. The power contained in the Supreme Realm's magic weapon is very terrifying. The flames inside it will bite back on itself and directly blow itself up into serious injuries. This gave Lin Mohan an opportunity to take advantage of. The Abyss Demon Lord raised his head and looked into the void through the flame waterfall. His hoarse voice came out, "Demon Lord, do you know why?" After a moment, the demon lord's big face appeared in the flames. I told you that with your ability, you cannot control the magic weapon of the Supreme Realm. The magic weapon has a spirit. The magic weapon in the Supreme Realm already has a trace of spirituality. Maybe it doesn't want you to control it. To it, face is an insult. The demon lord of the abyss was obviously dissatisfied, but I clearly refined it. The demon lord said, perhaps what you have refined is only the surface. The demon lord of the abyss can't think of a better answer, and everyone can answer it. The demon lord continued, this is just my guess. I will ask them again to see if I can get a more accurate answer. After all, things are given by them, and it will be clearer later. Recover your injuries as soon as possible. The war with the human race is far from over. The Abyss Demon and others whispered, I know, Demon Lord, 10 races were wiped out by the Ghost Tribe this time. I think this is abnormal. Is there someone behind the scenes who is manipulating the Ghost Tribe? The Demon Lord whispered, there should be some. The 10 tribes were wiped out, and even the Abyss Demonici did not issue any warning. Apparently the Ghost Road has the ears of the Abyss Demonici. I will investigate this matter clearly. The Demon Lord disappeared, and the Abyss Demon Lord continued to bathe in the fire of the abyss, and his injuries were slowly recovering. The flames condensed the appearance of Lin Mohan, and the deep voice of the Abyss Demon Lord came out, next time, the 3 craftsmen will chase you away. Holy Orang Yo came to the statue again and recounted the situation of the previous battle. The Orang Yo Holy Lord is a little worried. He is afraid that the human race is getting stronger and stronger, and may not be able to destroy the country of Hua Mo in the end. After all, it will take more than 1,300 years before the origin of the world will be revealed. The statue glowed slightly, and the light gathered into a ball. After lasting for a full 100 days, Wang Zhizheng and 77 million people were gathered together. The light group contained extremely terrifying power, and the Orang Yo Holy Lord took the light group carefully. The voice of the statue slowly sounded, the arrival of this deity will be postponed for 5 years, so you can know it for yourself. The Holy Monkey Ox immediately saluted, Gu Qingqing. Condensing the light group was not without cost. It consumed a lot of power, delaying his arrival for a full 5 years. But Holy Orang Yo doesn't care about this. What he cares more about is the life and death of himself and his race. Chapter 2140, Incorporating the Power of Virtuality into the World of Rules. Every race has its own schemes. The Demon race, the Golden Eagle race, the Bull Demon race, all have their own plans and intentions. The 100 Races Alliance, now reduced to less than 100 races, has seen 13 races silently vanish under the ravage of the Ghost race. The morale of the 100 Races Alliance is at an all-time low, and it will take a significant amount of time to recover. With the Abyssal Demon Lord absent, the Black Gold Saint of the Golden Eagle race has become the main controller of the 100 Races Alliance. The 100 Races Alliance has begun to contract its forces, no longer spreading its armies in all directions of the human race, but concentrating in areas close to the Vermilion Bird and White Tiger Star domains. The total number of troops remains vast, exceeding 10 billion, with the weakest among them being high-level divine kings. In this battle, mid- and low-level divine kings have no place, and true gods should not even think about participating. Even high-level divine kings have a limited role in the battlefield. It's the divine sovereigns who are the main force of this great war, and the outcome will be decided by the beings of the other shore and the Saint Domain. 150 in terms of total troop numbers, the 100 Races Alliance has already surpassed the human race. The number of beings from the other shore also exceeds that of the human race, and when all races in the Saint Domain are combined, they also have an advantage over the humans. Yet, despite having advantages in every aspect, they lost, and the loss was quite decisive. This is the real reason for the low morale. However, after a period of adjustment, the situation has finally stabilized, and morale may gradually recover over time. The war between them and the human race has not ended, it can only be considered as just the beginning. At the border between the inner and outer domains, this world belongs to the cosmic beasts, encompassing the entire domain space. There are numerous races within the inner space, but only a few specific places are suitable for cosmic beasts. However, the outer domain, due to its scarce laws and weak power, is not a favored place for cosmic beasts. Over time, the area at the boundary between the inner and outer domains has become a gathering place for cosmic beasts. A large number of cosmic beasts converge here, where they live and rest. Among the cosmic beasts, there are also strong beings, existing at the level of the other shore. Just like the once cosmic tree, such level of cosmic beasts may develop consciousness and life. They would command other cosmic beasts, forming massive troops to attack weaker races. Almost all weak races living at the edge have been attacked by cosmic beasts. Fortunately, the cosmic beasts only come once, consume some planets and beings, and then leave in peace. They seem to know not to overdo it, otherwise, the strong beings among the races would take action. Lin Moyu's battleship silently rose from deep space, and then Lin Moyu left the battleship, looking towards the cosmos. He stood at the edge of the boundary, aware of the unprecedented challenge ahead. The borderland, where the number of cosmic beasts is countless. There are many from the other shore, and there exist cosmic beasts of the Saint Domain. 30 years, no, less than 29 years, it's impossible to clear all the cosmic beasts here, an insurmountable task. But we'll clear as many as we can. The borderland is too vast, encompassing the entire inner space, its length incalculable. For such a large area, even if Lin Moyu were to traverse it entirely, it would take an unimaginable amount of time. Stepping into the borderland, he immediately sensed the presence of cosmic beasts. The misty fog dispersed, and the skeletal hell silently flew out, enveloping billions of miles of cosmos. Instantly, numerous cosmic beasts were covered by it. The cosmic beasts were awakened one by one, erupting with earth-shattering roars. Unfortunately, their roars could not escape, only echoing within the skeletal hell. Hellfire burned them, and hellish spirits rushed out, tearing them into pieces. Facing the hellish spirits of up to the 8th rank of Divine Sovereign, most cosmic beasts had no power to resist. Even if a cosmic beast at the peak of Divine Sovereign appeared, it would die under the onslaught of the hellish spirits. Leave some, just enough for consumption. Lin Moyu thought to himself, issuing an order. All cosmic beasts, regardless of their rank, Lin Moyu demanded a portion of their flesh be left. This flesh could be used to perform resurrection of the dead, creating a path for the living amidst the ruins. A containment formation followed the skeletal hell, collecting the remaining flesh of the cosmic beasts. Without needing to sort, the flesh was crudely stacked together, quickly forming a mountain of corpses. Lin Moyu propelled the skeletal hell forward, consuming all cosmic beasts along the way, making no distinction between them. The strength of the cosmic beasts was not weak, at least at the Divine Sovereign realm, and consuming them greatly aided the growth of the skeletal hell. He could feel the power of the skeletal hell rapidly strengthening, getting closer and closer to advancement. Watching the battles, Lin Moyu felt the ferocity of the hellish spirits becoming more evident, a testament to the relentless nature of their existence. If one day, the skeletal hell could grow to the other shore level, then all beings of the other shore combined in the great world would not suffice as its food. After all, by then, the number of hellish spirits would have increased, and each one would be of the other shore level. Even a Saint Domain being would feel intimidated upon seeing them. Surrounded by billions from the other shore, even a near supreme being would feel a chill. In the same realm, the story of ants biting an elephant to death is not impossible, it all depends on the number of ants. The mountain of corpses in the containment formation grew taller, and the skeletal hell consumed countless cosmic beasts, its power burgeoning. The river of hellfire became more tumultuous and expansive, with countless blood feeding into it, making the river wider. The flowers of the other shore on both banks became even more vibrant and beautiful. 3 years later, the skeletal hell finally grew to its limit, but it remained at the 8th rank of Divine Sovereign, unable to advance further. No matter how many cosmic beasts it consumed afterward, the skeletal hell did not change. It was like a cup that was already full. Pouring more water into it wouldn't make the cup larger. Feeling the changes in the skeletal hell, Lin Moyu sensed that it lacked something, hence its inability to advance. After some thought, he finally realized what the skeletal hell was missing. It lacked the power of reality. The nature of the skeletal hell is void, and during its previous advancement, his sudden inspiration led to the introduction of a sense of reality into the void. At that time, the power of the skeletal hell surged, undergoing a qualitative change. Now, as the skeletal hell reaches the edge of another advancement, it similarly needs the power of reality for catalysis. Understanding the reason, the solution became clear. The river of the law of immortality appeared, with the gray and white laws pouring down like a 9-day waterfall, nourishing the skeletal hell. The skeletal hell roared, with the irrigation of real power. It began to grow again despite having reached its limit. Its power strengthened, and Lin Moyu felt its potential expanding. With a thought, the skeletal hell resumed consuming cosmic beasts, with the power of the law of immortality continuing to be infused into it. At this moment, the skeletal hell was like a cup that was originally full, suddenly expanding, allowing it to hold more water. It needed to be filled again to truly advance. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. The stronger the skeletal hell became after its advancement, the better. Watching the changes in the skeletal hell, Lin Moyu began to contemplate his own world of rules. Combining reality and void, it seems that when I construct my world of rules, I should consider this aspect. The power of void is something only supreme beings touch, and only in the worlds of rules of supreme beings can the power of void possibly appear. If I used the power of void from the beginning, what effect would that have? Roar. The cosmos vibrated, a sudden roar interrupting Lin Moyu's thoughts. Chapter 2141, Be my mount and spare your life. 3 years later, the first starry sky behemoth of the other side realm was finally ushered in. The area of the border area is too big. In the 3 years that Lin Moyu controlled the Bone Hell, he swallowed millions of starry sky beasts, but he never encountered even one from the other side. But this is normal. According to the star map, the area he walked through did not even have 1/10,000th of a trading place. Now, finally, a giant starry sky beast from the other shore realm appears. Amidst the roar, Lin Moyu saw it. Giant rhinoceros. Lin Moyu recognized this starry sky beast immediately, and it was recorded in the human race's information. The giant rhinoceros looks a bit like a rhinoceros, with a huge horn on its head. Its characteristic is that its defense power is extremely strong. In the same realm, it is very difficult to kill it. More than 10,000 years ago, a giant rhino appeared. Now on the Xuanwu battlefield, it seems to be looking for something. Later, they were discovered by the human race, and a conflict broke out, killing some human cultivators. By the time the human race arrived at the other side, it had already escaped. It is said that it later encountered the Sanning tribe and was killed by the Holy Lord of the Sanning tribe. Lin Moyu didn't know if the giant rhinoceros in front of him was the same as the one recorded on the Human Emperor network. If it was the same, it meant that it had escaped the pursuit of the Holy Lord of the Sanning tribe. The giant rhinoceros came through the air, and when it was still 24 million kilometers away from Lin Moyu, it suddenly stomped its hooves heavily in the starry sky. The starry sky suddenly rolled like waves, setting off a huge wave and rushing towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's whole body erupted with purple-gold light, and his purple-gold body shimmered. In conjunction with the damage transfer, he withstood the attack head-on. The attack power is considered low in the other side realm, but the defense must be high. It's strong in defense and weak in attack, but its life-saving ability is extremely strong. Seeing that Lin Moyu was fine, the giant rhinoceros couldn't help roaring angrily again, "You are looking for death." Its whole body was raised high, and the sharp horns on its head burst out dazzling thunder. Lin Moyu suddenly saw a huge wound on its abdomen, which penetrated from beginning to end, almost cutting it in half. The moment he saw the wound, Lin Moyu knew that this giant rhinoceros was the same one from back then. It was indeed chased by the Holy Lord of the Sanning tribe and was injured, but in the end it escaped. This shows how strong its life-saving ability is. While Lin Moyu was thinking, thunder fell and evolved into a boundless sea of thunder that engulfed Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu stepped across tens of millions of kilometers in an instant and left the sea of thunder. Laws of space. The giant rhinoceros beast roared, carrying shock. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "So you can talk. Being able to speak means that wisdom has been born. The starry sky beasts in the other shore realm have a greatly increased probability of birthing wisdom." The giant rhinoceros looked at Lin Moyu coldly. "Human race, this is not the place you should be. You should retreat immediately. I will pretend I have never seen you." The giant rhinoceros doesn't want to provoke humans, especially humans like Lin Moyu who control the laws of space. Firstly, it is difficult to kill, and secondly, the human race will definitely treat him as a treasure. If he kills him, he will be in trouble. If Lin Moyu can retreat, that will be the best outcome. As for the killed starry sky beasts, it was none of his business. Lin Moyu had other ideas at this time. "Well, I happen to be short of a mount. You can be my mount, and I will let you go." "Moo!" The giant rhino roared, and Lin Moyu's words were simply an insult to it. He actually wants to be a mount. He is a majestic starry sky beast in the other side realm and the king of this star field. How can he be another mount? If you are the Holy Lord and say this, forget it. But you are just a god, and you are only a 5th level god. Who do you think you are? The giant rhinoceros beast roared, its horn sparkling, and there was boundless thunder before it exploded. The space with a radius of hundreds of millions of miles was suddenly submerged by the sea of thunder, and the power of the rules shattered the space, which was extremely terrifying. Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged, but with a thought in his heart, the hell of bones emerged and enveloped the giant rhinoceros beast. Countless evil spirits from hell rushed out, and the fire of hell came from all directions, burning the giant rhinoceros beast. The giant rhinoceros beast's whole body shimmered with light, and the powerful power of rules turned into armor, blocking the evil spirits of hell. The evil spirit from hell bit down and penetrated the armor. They ignore the power of rules and bite one by one. "What the hell?" The giant rhinoceros monster screamed. These guys who are obviously only the 8th level of the gods can actually bite into pieces of their own rules armor. How do they grow like this? Thunder light erupted from its whole body, knocking away a large number of hellish evil spirits, but more hellish evil spirits immediately rushed towards it. The giant rhinoceros discovered that the hell flames could actually burn its own regular armor. Under the double attacks of hell flames and hell spirits, the regular armor is weakening at an alarming rate and is about to collapse. "Get away!" The giant beast roared angrily, and the lightning exploded unbridled, knocking away all the evil spirits from hell around it, and the hell flames also rolled up and flew up. The lightning formed a defense and blocked the evil spirits from hell. But the evil spirits from hell were not afraid at all, and pounced on him again, gnawing at the lightning. No matter what it is, the evil spirits of hell can eat it. Laws and regulations, thunder and lightning, will not reject anyone who comes. The giant rhinoceros beast was furious in its heart. What the hell is this? The lightning kept blowing away the evil spirits from hell, but it couldn't kill them. It blew away one group after another, but it couldn't kill them all. Lin Moyu watched the show from the side with a smile on his face. The giant rhinoceros beast became angry with shame, and its body suddenly grew in size as it roared. Originally, the body was only about 100 meters tall, but now it suddenly became 10,000 meters tall. The tail turned into a terrifying weapon and swept over. Countless evil spirits from hell were swept away, and their bodies were torn to pieces. Become stronger. After the giant rhino grew bigger, so did its strength. However, he was not happy for a second. The hellish evil spirit, which was obviously torn to pieces, quickly completed its reorganization and rushed over again intact. The giant rhinoceros was a little scared. He didn't understand why there will be such a thing. It's obvious that he is only an 8th level god, but he can't be beaten to death. Lin Moyu discovered that the toughness of the evil spirits in hell increased significantly after the virtual and real formations were formed. Skeleton hell is not like before, it will collapse at every turn. Today's skeleton hell, under the attack of the giant rhinoceros beast, although it keeps turning, it has never collapsed. This also strengthens the idea of combining reality and reality to build a world of rules. The giant rhinoceros beast was rampaging in the skeleton hell. In terms of sheer strength, it could easily crush the evil spirits from hell, but it could never kill them. The giant rhinoceros beast was completely angry, and he suddenly rushed towards Lin Moyu. His eyes lit up, his horn sparkled, and the entire space became sticky in an instant. It uses the power of rules to seal the space. Since there is no way to bring the bones to hell, then kill the initiator. Lin Moyu said with a smile, I just thought about it now, my reaction is really slowed down. Facing the charging giant rhinoceros, Lin Moyu tapped his fingers, and a red light lit up with a buzzing sound. White star spell, curse of time. A scream came from the mouth of the giant rhinoceros, and its soul was shocked. Although it was not injured, it was in excruciating pain. Just as it screamed, a flower suddenly appeared in front of its eyes, and it found itself entering a strange starry sky. The containment talisman array shone brightly, taking in the giant rhinoceros beast. The giant rhinoceros beast attacked crazily, trying to break the containment talisman array. The containment talisman array continued to vibrate and tremble, and its face twisted. Lin Moyu took his time and quickly drew 2 or 3 runes to stabilize the containment array. Doing 2 things at the same time, throwing out a ball of immortal flames. White star spell, summon the skeleton king. The skeleton throne emerged, and 5,000-meter-tall skeleton kings appeared in the starry sky. Chapter 2142, Choose life or die immediately. The skeleton throne turned into 5 huge bone swords, and the majestic power of rules rolled on the swords. No matter how many times you watch the power of the white bone rules, you will always feel frightened. The 5 skeleton kings rushed into the containment talisman formation, and under the astonished gaze of the giant rhinoceros beast, they brandished their bone swords. Spell, kill God. It is also a god-slaying sword. The power of the god-slaying sword of the other shore realm is completely different from that of the god-slaying sword of the god-sovereign realm. The space where the giant rhinoceros beast was located suddenly collapsed, the space was completely destroyed, the deep space was revealed, and countless spatial turbulence broke out. The containment talisman array collapsed on the spot. Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment. The result was completely beyond his expectation. He didn't expect that the Skeleton King's god-slaying sword actually destroyed the containment talisman formation together. An extremely complex rune flew out and exploded in the starry sky, and the space was instantly blocked. Without the containment talisman array, the giant rhinoceros beast might escape. If he ran away, Lin Moyu would naturally not let him go. While Lin Moyu blocked the space, a bright sword light lit up on the giant rhinoceros beast, accompanied by screams. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes. This is the bone rule. Countless white bones appeared in the sword light, and the white bones were like swords, and they slashed at the giant rhinoceros at the same time. 5 times of killing gods, 5 sword rays. 5 huge wounds appeared on the giant rhinoceros, almost completely tearing its body apart. The sword of bones, which evolved in a regular manner, slashed at it densely. Click! Lin Moyu heard the sound of bones breaking. The bones of the giant rhinoceros were broken one after another, and countless flesh and blood were blown away. In an instant, the body was covered with blood and turned into a blood cow. The attack of the white bone rule lasted for several seconds. Within a few seconds, the giant rhinoceros beast did not know how many attacks it withstood, and its screams never stopped. Its proud defense, in the face of the rules of bones like water off a duck's back. Lin Moyu discovered that the attack of the white bone rule seemed to be hitting the body, but it was actually hitting the soul. The physical body is just a manifestation of the trauma of the soul, so no matter how strong the defense of the giant rhinoceros is, it will not be of much use. So this is the bones rule, and it's really good. but I think it should be more than that. For the time being, I have only discovered one feature of the White Bones rule, but there must be more than that. Except for the Skeleton King, all the undead legions have the Bone rule. When they reach the other side, every attack will be accompanied by the soul attack of the Bone rule, and their combat power will be greatly increased. The giant rhinoceros beast fell almost paralyzed in the starry sky, covered in blood, with fear in its eyes. He looked at Lin Moyu coming over and opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but in the end he only let out 2 screams. My soul was hurt. It was so painful that I couldn't even speak. Lin Moyu came to the giant rhinoceros with a cold tone. I will give you one last chance to become my mount and spare your life. The giant rhinoceros is full of unwillingness, its eyes are full of resentment, and at the same time it hides its desire for life. Nowadays, it is very contradictory. It wants to live, but is unwilling to become Lin Moyu's mount. Lin Mo said, fists are the last word in this world. You should understand. Okay, I'll give you 3 more seconds. If you don't agree, forget it. The Skeleton King appeared behind Lin Moyu at this time, with 5 bone swords shining with sharp light, looking extremely terrifying. There was only 3 seconds, and Lin Moyu wouldn't waste any more time on it. It's just a whim. It doesn't matter if you don't agree. Anyway, it will eventually become the nourishment of the Hell of Bones, so it won't be wasted. The 3 seconds ended quickly, and at the last moment, the giant rhino finally made a choice. It chose life. I promise. The giant rhino spit out 3 words very unwillingly. Lin Moyu smiled and said, that's right, let's make the Great World Oath. Don't be scheming, you know. The giant rhinoceros really doesn't dare to play scheming. It's for the sake of fish and meat. If it plays scheming again, it's really seeking death. Thinking of the future life of the cow, the giant rhinoceros felt that its fate so bitter. It has made an oath to the world. No matter how miserable the future life is, at least it can survive. Lin Moyu felt the cause and effect between the giant rhinoceros and himself, but this was only the first step. A rune flew out from the treasure ship's warehouse. This rune was extremely delicate, but also extremely complex. Its complexity is even higher than that of the containment talisman array. No resistance. Lin Moyu's voice was calm but cold. The giant rhinoceros knows what will be waiting for him if he disobeys. The mounts have been pawned, and the Great World Oath has been sworn, which is exactly what happened. The runes flew into the body of the giant rhinoceros and entered its soul world. The giant rhinoceros didn't dare to resist, so it could only let the runes fly in. The runes accurately found the soul of the giant rhino beast, and then landed on it. There is an extra mark on my soul. There was no pain this time. The giant rhinoceros saw. This mark has been integrated with the soul, and it is difficult to segment. Lin Mo said, from today on, I am your master. This rune is called the Soul Control Talisman. I can destroy your soul with just one thought. Of course, I must kill you. I can also erase your intelligence and make you my most loyal slave. The giant rhinoceros trembled when it heard this, knowing that Lin Moyu was telling the truth. The rune in the soul is very terrifying. It has become one with the soul and cannot be removed at all. Unless you commit suicide. It's over, the old cow is over for this life. The giant rhinoceros beast wanted to cry but had no tears. If he had known this, he would have had a good sleep. Why did he come here? Lin Moyu waved a white law at this time, and the law fell on him, and the giant rhinoceros beast suddenly felt that his soul no longer hurt. The wounds on the soul are healing quickly, and the wounds on the body are also healing quickly. In just a few minutes, my soul was already feeling better, and the wounds on my body were completely healed. Even the huge scars that was struck by the Holy Lord of the Sanine tribe many years ago miraculously disappeared. How did you do this? The giant rhinoceros was extremely surprised, kept asking myself and my heart. It didn't recognize what the law was, but it was surprised, strange. Lin Mo said, okay, stand up now, don't lie down anymore. At this time, the giant rhinoceros beast was still lying on its back in the starry sky. After hearing Lin Moyu's words, it immediately stood up and stood up. His size began to shrink, and in an instant he turned into a calf only 5 meters tall. Lin Mo said, "Do you know there are otherworld starry sky giant beasts nearby?" The giant rhinoceros beast said, "There is another one about 100 light years away. But that guy has no intelligence. He is an idiot who only knows how to eat and sleep." Lin Moyu asked, "How is the combat strength?" The giant rhinoceros beast said, "It's not bad, but its ability to save lives is not as good as mine." The implication is that the combat power is actually still higher than that of the giant rhino beast, otherwise he would not have said that. Lin Mo said, "The first task for you is to bring that guy to me." The giant rhinoceros has no right to refuse. After listening to the mission, turned around and left. After he left, Lin Moyu murmured to himself, "When the time comes, you will be in command of the Resurrection Army." It would be useful to keep the giant rhinoceros, as Lin Moyu wanted to use it to command the Resurrection Army. In this way, you don't have to show up, and some operations can be much more flexible. It's not necessary to use it, you just have to have it when you want to use it. Lin Moyu likes to plan ahead and be prepared in advance. The skeleton hell accepted a large number of immortal laws, and the cup quickly grew in size, reaching the extreme. As the cup gets bigger, more water is needed to fill it, and the starry sky beast is water. A large number of starry sky beasts were devoured, and the bone hell was gradually intensifying. For some reason, Lin Moyu felt a little relaxed. The feeling of relaxation came from the big world. Cause and effect. Muttering to himself, he felt subtle changes in the world. In Lin Moyu's feeling, as he killed more and more starry sky beasts, the world seemed to become a lot easier. It is said that there is some causal relationship between the starry sky monster and the big world, and the starry sky monster is also one of the burdens of the big world. Why is this happening? Why is there cause and effect between them? Shouldn't the giant beasts in the starry sky be creatures in the big world? Lin Moyu suddenly realized that his idea was not correct. The giant beasts in the starry sky were not necessarily creatures of the big world. The strong men in the big world once plundered the origins of many worlds and merged those worlds with the big world. The alien races in those worlds also entered the big world and became alien races. Coming in with them were starry sky beasts from other worlds. The starry sky beasts from various worlds are also mixed with the starry sky beasts of the big world. More than 850 years have passed, and it has long been impossible to tell who is who. No one has ever paid attention to this. Perhaps even the former Heavenly Lord would not consider this. After all, the giant beast in the starry sky is strong but scattered, and its presence is not strong. Lin Moyu finally understood, so that's it. It seems that if you want to cut off the cause and effect of the big world, you can't even let go of the giant beasts in the starry sky. Lin Moyu didn't know that it was almost impossible to kill all the giant beasts in the sky. They are distributed in every corner of the world, inside and outside the territory, everywhere. Not to mention that he only has 500 million skeleton generals now. Even if he has 10 or 100 times more, it won't be enough. If he wants to kill, he can only kill most of them. Let's do it step by step and do my best. Lin Moyu thought in his heart and calculated several areas. The dark void, the battlefields in all directions, and the borderland between us. These 3 places have the largest number of starry sky beasts. If the starry sky beasts in these 3 places can be cleaned up, at least 80% of them will be eliminated. 80% is almost enough. 10 days later, the Hell of Bones finally reached its limit again. This time, the power of virtuality and reality is complete, and the Hell of Bones is officially in place. The Bone Hell changed from tangible to intangible, turning into mist and spreading randomly in the starry sky. The scope of the skeletal hell is getting larger and larger. The original scope of the skeleton hell has reached tens of billions of kilometers, which is enough to cover a galaxy. Now its range has become larger again, reaching 100 billion kilometers. After the scope expanded, the Hell of Bones recondensed and took shape, and the flames of hell erupted sharply. The river of hellfire boiled, and majestic pillars of fire continued to rush out. The flowers on both sides of the river bloomed one after another, emitting a coquettish light. The blue light of the flower of the other shore envelopes the bone hell, making the bone hell look extremely gloomy. Lin Moyu felt that the skeleton hell was becoming more and more real. It was originally mostly an illusion, but now it is beginning to become more real. Illusion and reality continue to blend in the Hell of Bones, making it more powerful. The evil spirits of hell are bathed in flames and continue to grow stronger in the river of hellfire, quickly reaching the 9th level of deity. Then they began to split, one into 2, and the other into 4. The number also changed from 100 million to 1 billion hell spirits, all 9th level gods. From this moment on, the number and combat power of hell's evil spirits has surpassed that of the undead legion, second only to the skeleton king. The only drawback is that the evil spirits of hell cannot leave the bone hell, otherwise they will become the second evil spirit army. Lin Moyu was very satisfied with the changes in the skeleton hell, and the increase exceeded expectations. Hundreds of billions of kilometers can cover the galaxy easily. If 2 galaxies are close enough, they can be covered together. Unfortunately, the distances between galaxies are very far away, measured in light years, so his idea can only be thought of. What satisfied Lin Moyu the most was that the Hell of Bones was indeed developing in a real direction. Perhaps one day in the future, the Bone Hell can evolve into a real world and become a real hell. Master, I'm back. Lin Moyu suddenly heard the voice of the giant rhinoceros. Looking around, the giant rhinoceros beast appeared hundreds of millions of kilometers away, and behind him, there was a giant starry sky beast chasing it. Both sides traveled extremely fast, flying hundreds of millions of kilometers in the blink of an eye. It was a giant starry beast that looked like a giant crocodile and was over 100,000 meters long. It's just that its tail is very long, like a snake's tail, more than half of its total length. Its eyes flashed fiercely, full of killing, and at the same time there was anger towards the giant rhinoceros, as if it had some deep hatred. Then Lin Moyu saw that there was a huge hole in the chin of the giant crocodile-like starry sky beast, and blood was flowing out of it. The hole looks like a horn. You don't need to think about it to know that it was pushed out by the giant rhinoceros with its horn. Blood was spilling from the hole. The giant rhinoceros is quite ruthless. Lin Moyu chuckled and tapped his fingers. The Hell of Bones emerged, covering both of them. Under the alluring purple light, the hell flames erupted violently, swallowing up the giant crocodile beast. Immediately afterwards, countless evil spirits from hell rushed out and surrounded the giant crocodile beast. The roar resounded through the skeleton hell, and the giant crocodile beast and the evil spirits from hell fought together. The thick and long tail swept wildly through the skeleton hell, but was unable to do anything to deal with the hell's evil spirits. The giant rhinoceros was not attacked. Now it has become a theater-goer. Look at this familiar scene. Not long ago, I was also besieged like this. It suddenly discovered that the evil spirits in hell had become stronger, far stronger than before. There was a hint of fear in his eyes. His master looked like a 5th-level god, but his combat power was actually far superior to that of the other side. After being surrounded by the evil spirits of hell, the giant rhinoceros already knew that the fate of the giant crocodile was doomed, and no matter how it resisted, it was of no use. A passage appeared in the bone hell, and the giant rhinoceros flew out along the passage, shrinking in size and shrinking to the smallest size when it came to Lin Moyu. Master! It bowed in front of Lin Moyu with great respect. Lin Moyu nodded, doing well. The giant rhinoceros beast said, doing things for the master is what a calf should do. It has accepted its fate now and cannot resist anyway, so it might as well be obedient and be a good and obedient cow. It is not one of those idiots without intelligence. Ning knows very well how to survive and live better. It even named itself Mavericks. The skeleton hell has completely surrounded the giant crocodile beast. At the same time, the 5 skeleton kings are waiting outside the hell. Lin Moyu does not need to worry about the next battle. Lin Mo said, "Tell me everything you know about the border area. The more detailed the better." "Yes." Maverick immediately told everything he knew. Through Maverick's mouth, Lin Moyu finally had a certain understanding of the situation in the border area. This mysterious starry sky, which even the Human Emperor Network did not have many records of, finally appeared clearly in front of Lin Moyu. The borderland is also called the home of the giant beasts in Maverick's mouth. This name was not given by it, but by some intelligent starry sky beasts. According to what it said, there were a total of 108 giant beasts in the other shore realm in the border area. This number is consistent with the number of Renhuang Network. The 108 empty giant beasts in the other side realm actually refer to the other side realm that is as intelligent as a calf. In addition, there are some giant beasts from the other side that have not been born with wisdom, and they are not among the number of 108. There are more of these starry sky behemoths, which means that in the trading place, there are hundreds of starry sky behemoths in the other side realm alone. Compared to the human race, there are many more realms on the other side. With such a huge population of the human race, there are only about 100 people in the other shore realm. This shows how talented the starry sky beast is. They have unique advantages and have a lifespan far superior to that of human saints. There are many starry sky behemoths in the beyond realm who have lived for 100,000 years and still have not reached the end of their lifespan. Mavericks is relatively young in the other side realm, only over 20,000 years old. According to what it said, its lifespan can reach 300,000 years, so now it has just reached adulthood. Lin Moyu was indeed a little envious of this. The Heavenly Lord in ancient times could only live for 500,000 years. The starry sky beasts do not have a complete system like various intelligent races, but they also have a sense of territory. 108 intelligent giant beasts from the other side occupy a large area of the starry sky at the junction. The other nearly 200 giant beasts from the other side without intelligence only care about their own territory and don't care about anything else. In addition to the other side realm, there is also a real king in the trading place. A giant starry beast that has reached the realm of Saint Lord rules the entire borderland. When its orders are given, all the starry sky beasts in the other side must obey. It is all the starry sky beasts in the other side realm, including those without wisdom. They have no intelligence, but they will follow their instincts and obey the strong. Sometimes it is more convenient to direct them because they are not intelligent and have no ideas of their own. Lin Moyu murmured that there was a starry sky beast in the Saint Realm by chance. It's not unreasonable for the borderland to exist for so many years. Do you know its strength over there? The calf shook its head. I don't know, I just know that the king is a saint. But the king is very strong, stronger than ordinary saints. There was once a demon clan saint who came to the king and wanted to conquer him, but he was beaten away by the king and was seriously injured. The Holy Lord of the Golden Eagle clan also came here, but he was no better than the king. There is such a thing. Lin Moyu's eyes were full of thinking. The Holy Lords of the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle clan are not the kings who want to conquer the starry sky beasts, but want to conquer this place. All the starry beasts. Once successful, they can control the starry sky beast and launch an attack on the human race. The behemoths in the starry sky are countless in number and have extraordinary combat power, posing an extremely heavy threat to the human race. After countless years of accumulation, no one knows how many starry sky beasts there are in the border area. If their king is controlled, then the entire trading place of starry sky beasts will be controlled. Fortunately, he didn't succeed. But the strange thing is that it is impossible for the human race not to know about this matter, why the human race has never been worried. Maverick suddenly said, "The king is different from us. The king cannot be conquered. More than 10,000 years ago, a strong man from the human race came, but in the end he failed to conquer the king." Lin Moyu asked, "Do you know who the powerful human being is?" Maverick shook his head and thought for a while. The battle was very fierce, and we were all attracted to it. We looked at him from afar and didn't dare to get close. We vaguely heard Wine calling the man's name, which seemed to be Old Man Xing. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. It's Mr. Xing. Unexpectedly, Xing Lao had already arrived. Although he defeated the king of the Starry Sky Beast, he also failed to conquer him. No wonder, Mr. Xing isn't worried at all. He can't even conquer him, not even other races. In this case, there is no need to worry. Lin Moyu already knew the situation of the trading place very well, and also knew how to act next. The border area is very large, and the king of the giant beasts is basically silent. He should be sleeping. As long as you don't provoke it, nothing will happen to you. And except for the king of the Saint Realm, there is no need to be afraid of other giant beasts in the starry sky. The roar sounded, and the giant crocodile beast finally broke through the hell of bones. It threw away all the evil spirits from hell and escaped in terror. The giant crocodile beast was dripping with blood, with wounds all over its body, and looked extremely miserable. Please give me flowers. In many places, the brows have been exposed. Its soul was severely injured, its breath was extremely weak, and its survival instinct made it make a final struggle. The calf stared. You read that right. Otherwise, the giant crocodile beast wouldn't be so miserable. Just escaping from the hell of bones has already exhausted all his strength. Maverick said, Master, do you need Mavericks to do something? Seizing the opportunity, Mavericks immediately asked for help, not forgetting to flatter him. Lin Moyu shook his head, no need. The Skeleton King has already taken action, but only one Skeleton King takes action. The sword light lit up, and the god's dancing sword was swung out, and the sword light lit up on the giant crocodile beast. Amidst the screams, the giant crocodile beast that had just escaped was illuminated by a bright sword light, and a huge hole was blown out. Yeji is indeed stronger than before, and much stronger. At the same time, the white bones appeared, and the rules turned into swords, slashing at its soul. The soul was wounded again, and the giant crocodile beast screamed in agony. Then the damage to the soul was transmitted to the body, and the bones were broken one after another. The giant crocodile beast that had already lost half of its life in the bone hell was now struck by the god-slaying sword and lost half of its life again. The hell of bone still shrouded it, and the evil spirits of hell pounced on it again and began to gnaw. The giant crocodile beast kept screaming, and the calf was frightened for a while. It realized that if it had not agreed to become Lin Moyu's mount before, it might have faced the same fate. The thought of being eaten bit by evil spirits from hell gave little Newton a chill all over his body and made his hair stand on end. Lin Moyu felt the change in Maverick's aura and said calmly, As long as you obey, I won't kill you. The calf immediately said, Don't worry, Master, the calf is very, very obedient. You can't find a more obedient beast in the world than the calf. Lin Moyu showed a smile, and it was obvious that Xiaoxing had a strong desire to survive. Especially after seeing the tragic situation of the giant crocodile beast, Maverick felt that it was good to be alive. As for being a mount or something, it's actually nothing. Judging from the appearance of this master, it seems that he is not the kind of master who is always ready to whip. Maverick kept comforting himself in his heart, It's okay, it's okay. Although this master is ruthless, killing animals without blinking an eye, but currently, he has no habit of abusing animals. Used. You can do it, Maverick. You must live well, and one day you can become the Holy Master's Nyo warrior. Lin Moyu didn't know what was going on in Maverick's heart. At this time, the screams of the giant crocodile beast became weaker and weaker. Finally, the Skeleton King cut off its head and threw it into the containment array. The number of corpses of the giant beasts in the containment talisman array is already unclear, at least hundreds of thousands. But this amount was still far from enough for Lin Moyu. Xiao, go and bring another giant beast from the other side. Lin Moyu issued a new order, and Maverick immediately went to find the nearest starry sky beast. The next starry sky beast is far away and will take some time. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. He controlled the bone hell and continued to devour the starry sky beast. The skeleton hell has reached the 9th level of God, and its range of power has been greatly increased, and its efficiency is higher. But similarly, the difficulty of continuing to improve has also increased significantly. Just swallowed a giant beast from the other side, it only increased a little bit. Lin Moyu felt that it would take at least hundreds of millions of giant beasts in the 2, 7, 3, 3 level of deities to be devoured before the Hell of Bones could be promoted again. Being promoted again, I don't know whether it will be a half step to the other side, or whether it will directly reach the other side. Based on past experience, the possibility of directly reaching the other side is not high. The gap between the Godhead and the other shore is huge and not easy to reach. Lin Moyu just pushed all the way across the border. Wherever he went, the starry sky was silent and the giant beast slept peacefully. 2 months later, Mavericks once again brought back a giant beast from the other side. Soon, Lin Moyu's containment talisman array contained another piece of flesh and blood from the other side. Mavericks took on a new mission and continued to search for the starry sky beasts on the other side. The calf is very smart. Although Lin Moyu didn't say it clearly, it knew what Lin Moyu wanted. So what it brought back were all starry sky behemoths that had not awakened to wisdom. Time passed year after year. While Lin Moyu was controlling the devouring Hell of Bones, he was also doing 2 things at once, continuing to draw a large number of runes and fill them into the treasure ship warehouse. There are many types of runes with various functions. Lin Moyu tried to prepare as many as possible in case of emergencies. In the new military garrison of the 100 Tribes Alliance, there were shouts from Ling Tian. The cultivators of the 100 Tribes Alliance are competing in a competition, which is called Friendly Exchanges. In nearly 30 years, the morale of the 100 Races Alliance has recovered. The armies located on other battlefields have all been withdrawn and merged into one, with a total strength of more than 200 million. In addition, the total number of troops from all races should be around 2.5 billion. There are more than 150 people in the other side. The huge number has allowed many people to regain their confidence. Especially 2 years ago, the Abyss Demon King finally recovered from his injuries and claimed that the previous war was because of something wrong with his magic weapon, not because he was not as powerful as the humans. The Dark Gold Saint also claimed to have brought a treasure that was comparable to the human race's god of war spear. The Blood Ox Holy Lord also claimed to have taken out an ancestral treasure, which was very powerful and could kill the Holy Lord. At this point, the number of Holy Lords on the 100 Clans Alliance side has reached 6, which greatly enhances the confidence of the army. In the past 30 years, the Black Gold Saint came up with an idea. He set up arenas so that practitioners of all races could have friendly exchanges with others. Of course, you can't go all out. Just compete with each other, regardless of life or death. Many practitioners from different races gradually became familiar with each other during the competitions, and their relationship became better. As a result, the army's combat effectiveness has been slightly increased, and the attention from previous failures has also been diverted. It took 30 years for the army's morale to finally fully recover. In the palace, several saints were sitting in the center, and 150 bianjing were distributed around. The demon lord of the abyss said, thanks to the Black Gold Saint Lord's idea, the 10 chi were restored. The Black Gold Saint said quietly, it's nothing, and it's not important. In fact, I always feel that it is not them who really determine the outcome, but us. The Abyss Demon Lord hummed, there was a problem with my magic weapon before. I underestimated the supreme magic weapon, which led to backlash, but it won't happen this time. If I encounter her again, I will definitely kill her. The Black Gold Saint obviously did not completely believe what the Abyss Demon Lord said, and said calmly, I hope so. Everyone thinks it is better for us to start the war again. Over the years, the battle with the human race has continued. But it was all a small fight, and there was no head-on battle. The alliance of hundreds of tribes retreated, the human race pressed forward, and small battles continued to occur. The Black Gold Saint is now referring to a frontal battle. He knows very well that if they cannot defeat the human race in the current battle situation, they will definitely lose if this battle continues. The Demon Lord of the Abyss did not answer directly, but said in a dark voice, "It has been 30 years, the ghost tribe has not appeared again, and the giant tree in the starry sky has disappeared. The future troubles have not been solved, and I always feel that. Got to be a little uneasy." Several saints are also a little confused. The Ghost Clan appears and disappears, and no trace can be found. There is also the Starry Sky Giant Tree. No one knows why the Starry Sky Giant Tree attacks them and specifically picks out the weak ones to kill. Afterwards, even the giant beast in the starry sky lost its trace and could not be found. These two things were stuck in their throats, making it difficult for them to feel at ease. However, the Demon Lord of the Abyss said again, "But it doesn't matter. We have not been idle these years. The barriers of various races have been sublimated. As long as the ghost race dares to appear again, it will inevitably be rekindled. Feel it. H. The promise made by the Abyss Demon Lord may not be useful, but it is better than nothing." The Black Gold Saint said, "There is another thing. In the previous 2 wars, the human race lost one person." "Who?" Everyone looked over and the Black Gold Saint said, "Lin Moyu. I have studied Lin Moyu. His technique is actually very suitable for war. If he takes action, it will be a great help to the human race and the casualties will be greatly reduced." But the first 2 times, Lin Moyu never showed up, and no one knew what he was doing. Several saints and the surrounding people on the other side, even if they have not dealt with Lin Moyu, have heard of Lin Moyu's name and know about his undead army. If the undead army takes action, human casualties can indeed be greatly reduced. But he didn't take action, which was strange. Holy Lord Bloodox asked, "Will he be practicing in seclusion?" No one objected to his words, and after thinking about it, that was the reason. A retreat will be normal for dozens or hundreds of years. However, the Abyss Demon Lord, who had dealt with Lin Moyu the most, always felt that the matter was not that simple. He was wary of Lin Moyu. He had tried to kill Lin Moyu several times before without success. Lin Moyu's mind made him feel troubled. He said solemnly, "If Lin Moyu appears on the battlefield on 3.1, he must be killed as soon as possible." As he spoke, he glanced at the other people sitting there. "Everyone, please take note of these words. If you see Lin Moyu, please kill him as soon as possible." All the other shore realms nodded, and they could hear that the Abyss Demon Lord was not joking. The Blood Oxen Holy Lord laughed in a muffled voice. "Abyss Demon Lord, are you too cautious? Lin Mo said that he is just a god. How can he go into such a big fight?" The Abyss Demon Lord shook his head. "You don't understand." The Holy Lord Bloodox wanted to say something else, but suddenly a red light exploded in the starry sky. Everyone looked into the distance at the same time, looking through infinite distances to see the situation in the distance. The Abyss Demon Lord whispered, "The human army has moved. Prepare to fight. This time, we want to avenge our shame." The order was given and the army immediately started moving. The majestic aura soared into the sky, filling the sky with killing intent. The human army moved together, with more than 1 billion troops, advancing with great momentum. On the God of War fortress, several human saints stood side by side. There was a flying sword talisman in the hand of Fu Xingzuan. The flying sword talisman flashed across the starry sky and disappeared. Zhan Xingzuan said in a low voice, "Has the healthy breath been spread?" Fu Xingzuan nodded slightly. "It has been sent out, but the speed of the flying sword talisman is limited. By the time Xiao Yulin receives it, our battle will basically be over." War Saint said, "Not necessarily, we can delay it for a while." The sword master frowned slightly. "Lin Moyu asked us to take action because he wanted us to attract the other party's attention. We can delay for a while, but we must be anxious." A few days ago, Xingzuan Fu suddenly received the flying sword talisman from Lin Moyu. What the talisman said was to let them launch a full-scale attack on the army of the 100 Race Alliance 10 days after the flying sword talisman was issued. There is no need to actually fight, you just need to attract the opponent's attention. The Saints naturally knew what Lin Moyu was going to do, and they took action 10 days later. If the human race moves, the alliance of 100 races will naturally find out, and they will also send troops. The army advanced slowly and looked menacing, as if it was about to fight for life or death. But in fact, the human race's marching speed is very slow. 25. Several Saints knew that this action was mainly to delay time. Fighting is definitely necessary. It will definitely not work if you don't talk or practice. You just need to control the fighting time. Lin Moyu had returned from the border area and arrived at the edge of the Red Tiger clan. The Red Tiger clan had a holy lord 100,000 years ago. Their strength was not weak, and they were almost among the powerful clans. 100,000 years ago, their saint was killed by Xiao Zhantian, and there was no more saint after that. There have always been other shore realms. Now there are 3 other shore realms in their clan. 2 of them have gone to the front line, and there is still one in the clan. The star territory of the Red Tiger clan is protected by the Demon clan's barrier, and there are also Abyss demonic eyes inside to monitor it. A concealment talisman was activated, and Lin Moyu successfully entered the star field. As soon as he entered, Lin Moyu felt something strange. How come there is the aura of the Black Blood realm here? Lin Moyu's heart sank slightly, and the barrier was filled with wisps of black and large aura. Lin Moyu has been in contact with the power of the Black Blood world several times and is very sensitive to their breath. The first reaction was that the Demon clan had colluded with the people from the Black Blood realm. Thinking of the scene I saw in the Lizard God's War Palace that day, behind the rebellion of all races, there was the shadow of the black-blooded Desi. Nowadays, it seems normal that the Demon clan is entangled with the Black Blood world. It's just that Lin Moyu's murderous intention became stronger, but the power of the Black Blood world appeared, making him have to be vigilant. The Black Blood realm has not left, but I don't know where it is hidden. They are still hiding in the big world, and maybe colluding with various races. Lin Moyu thought so far that all races were blacklisted. Any race may have the power of the Black Blood world hidden in it, and no one can be let go. A containment talisman flew out, and the giant rhinoceros beast appeared beside him. Master, where are you? The calf didn't see Lin Moyu. Even if Lin Moyu was in front of him, it couldn't see it. Lin Moyu said, "No need to look for it, you can't see it." As he spoke, a star map appeared in front of Mavericks. Mavericks was wise and could understand the star map. Lin Moyu's voice continued, "This is the star territory of the Red Tiger clan. Your mission is to wipe out the Red Tiger clan. You must kill all the clan members inside." The calf stared at the bull's eyes. "Master, I am the only one. It is not a problem to destroy the Red Tiger clan, but there is only one of them. Even if all the galaxies are wiped out, it will take a long time. If you encounter the other shore realm in the Red Tiger clan, you may not be able to defeat it." Lin Mo said, "Of course I will give you my subordinates." The containment talisman array unfolded, and countless flesh and blood poured out. After so many years in the border area, countless corpses of giant beasts have been accumulated. Even Lin Moyu couldn't calculate the specific number. Just a casual estimate, it should be more than tens of millions, and they are all gods. A team composed of tens of millions of gods would give anyone a headache. Over the years, Lin Moyu also killed 6 giant beasts from the other side of the sky. The 6 giant beasts from the other side were all brought back by Maverick one by one. It pulled over all the giant beasts from the other side within a radius of several light years, and most of them became the nourishment of the bone hill. The remaining corpses were taken away by Lin Moyu. In the next 27 years, the skeleton hell cleared a large swath of the starry sky. Almost 1,000% of the area at the junction has been swept away. Maverick stared blankly, wondering what the use of his master was for pouring out so much flesh and blood. Does the master like to eat barbecue? Some of the giant starry beasts do taste good, but some are full of poison and cannot be eaten at all. Puzzled. Thinking. Then Lin Moyu waved his hand, and the immortal flames exploded in the starry sky, turning the surrounding area into a sea of fire. Countless flesh and blood were reborn in the sea of fire, souls were reorganized, flesh and blood was regenerated, and powerful auras rose into the sky. Pieces of broken flesh and blood transformed into starry sky beasts again. After becoming resurrected, the starry sky beasts collectively knelt down towards Lin Moyu and remained motionless. The starry sky was still extremely quiet, with not even the slightest movement. Mavericks was completely stunned. Why was the starry sky beast that was obviously dead now alive? Its small 3 views have been completely peaked. How could there be such a bizarre thing in the world? Master, what's going on? Such a bizarre scene made Maverick so scared that his voice began to tremble. Lin Mo said, "Leave them to you to command, tens of thousands of gods, that's almost enough." Mavericks was surprised at first, and then nodded hurriedly, "Don't worry, I promise to complete the task." Lin Moyu suddenly realized and ordered all resurrected people to accept Maverick's command unconditionally. The resurrected ones know no pain and are fearless of life and death. They are much easier to use than the real behemoths in the starry sky. Moreover, after the resurrection of the dead, they also enjoyed certain talent bonuses, and their actual combat power was stronger than before they were alive. Lin Mo said, "Go ahead, I'll leave this place to you." Maverick let out a long roar, and with his army of tens of millions of monsters, 303 rushed toward the nearest galaxy. Lin Moyu watched from a distance. He wanted to see what the use of the power left by the Black Blood realm here was. Just when Mavericks led the behemoth army to the nearest galaxy, the Devil's Eye suddenly erupted with huge movement. The flames boiled and the entire barrier lit up. The huge barrier enveloped the entire galaxy. Lin Moyu felt that the barrier had become several times stronger in an instant, and both the inside and outside were blocked by it. In order to prevent the Ghost Tribe from escaping, it seems that a lot of money has been spent. In this case, I will contribute. A rune flew out silently and then burned. Suddenly there was a layer of space power in the starry sky. The power of space blocked the world and prevented anyone from escaping. Locking Talisman. It is a rune created by Lin Moyu and can be used to replace the airlocking array disk. The runes are imbued with Lin Moyu's understanding of the laws of space. Once activated, the stealth and range are superior to the airlocking formation disk. Lin Moyu moved forward quickly in the starry sky, activating a space-locking talisman from time to time. After more than a dozen airlocking talismans were activated, the entire starry sky was completely blocked, and the teleportation array was completely ineffective, making it difficult for the people inside to escape. The Starry Sky Beast army has entered the first galaxy, and according to Lin Moyu's instructions, not a single clan member will be spared. In the blink of an eye, the third galaxy has been slaughtered. The containment talisman flew out of the little hand, enveloped the galaxy, took away the entire galaxy, and then rushed to the next galaxy without stopping. It can be seen that this is the first time for Mavericks to command so many Starry Sky Beasts in battle. Fortunately, Lin Moyu gave him all the rights, and the Resurrection Army was extremely obedient and would fight wherever he pointed. Thousands of divine beasts in the starry sky are moving forward in a mighty way. They are huge and look very scary. Mavericks went from unfamiliar to familiar and slowly became proficient. After destroying 2 galaxies, Mavericks even began to divide his troops. Let the Starry Behemoth Brigade be divided into 2 and attack 2 galaxies at the same time. The huge movement was finally noticed by the Abyss Demon Eye, and the fire of the Abyss suddenly lit up in the starry sky. The Abyss Demon Eye immediately transmitted a large amount of information back to the Demon Clan, and also to the Abyss Demon King. The Abyss Demon Lord, who had already arrived at the front line, was stunned and said, "There is a beast tide in the Red Tiger Clan Star region." Several saints around him were stunned. The Hell Demon Lord said in a low voice, "What's going on? How come there is a tide of beasts when a war is approaching?" The Demon Lord of the Abyss smiled sinisterly. "Don't you think it's strange? In the last war, the Ghost Clan appeared, and the giant tree in the starry sky also appeared inexplicably. We have never provoked the stars. Empty giant tree. On the contrary, it is the human race who has a grudge against the giant tree in the starry sky. I didn't say anything on purpose before, I was just waiting. As expected, the human race should have reached some kind of agreement with the starry sky beast. The Black Gold Saint whispered, "You mean, the one at the junction?" The demon lord of the abyss sneered, "Other than it, who else has the ability to launch a tide of beasts? I don't know what price the human race has paid." The Black Gold Saint asked, "What should we do now? If the Red Tiger clan is destroyed like before, our alliance of hundreds of clans may really break up. The Red Tiger clan is not a small clan, unlike those that were exterminated before. Those small and weak tribes will be wiped out if they are wiped out. The Red Tiger tribe is also a medium-sized race after all, and there are 3 other people in the tribe. In the alliance of hundreds of races, some are medium-sized races such as the Red Tiger clan. These races can be said to be the main force of the 100 Races Alliance. If they are in chaos, the 100 Races Alliance will be completely finished. Therefore, we cannot ignore the affairs of the Red Tiger clan." The Blood Ox Holy Lord said coldly, "The human race is really good at planning. They start a war with us head-on, secretly reach an agreement with the Starry Sky Beast, and carry out sneak attacks on the ancestral lands of all races. If we don't care, they will definitely not stop, but if we don't, there will be problems in the frontline battle." The Abyss Demon Lord said, "The human race should have thought of this method from the ghost race. It is indeed very practical. However, the Demon Lord already has a way to deal with it and has made corresponding arrangements." His laughter gradually turned gloomy. "In these years, I have not only been recovering from my injuries, but I have also done a lot of things. Don't worry, nothing will happen to the Red Tiger clan. Let's just let the war go." The Black Gold Saint was very curious. "I wonder what arrangement the devil has made." The Abyss Demon Lord smiled and said, "I can't say. If you want to know, just ask the Eagle Emperor." This matter was decided by the Demon Lord and the Eagle Emperor together. The Black Gold Saint was slightly startled, but he did not expect that the Eagle Emperor would be involved. The Dark Gold Saint on the side whispered, "No wonder the Eagle Emperor asked us to just fight hard on the front line and ignore other things. TSK, TSK, TSK. The Demon Lord of the Abyss smiled even more charmingly. "You see, so don't worry, this time we must teach the human race a lesson, and it is best to kill 1 or 2 of their saints." The murderous intention rises. Although it is difficult to kill the Holy Lord, it is not impossible. Hundreds. The army formed its formation. They are thousands of kilometers apart, facing each other from afar. The war is about to break out. In the Red Tiger clan star field, Mavericks led the army of Resurrectors and conquered 2 star systems again. His command efficiency is getting higher and higher, and he even begins to divide into 3. Most of the strong men in the Red Tiger clan went to the front line, and only 2 or 3 kittens remained, which could not stop the army of Resurrectors at all. The giant beasts in the starry sky wreaked havoc in the Red Tiger clan star field, and countless Red Tiger clan members were torn into pieces. The army passed through, and no chickens or dogs were left in the galaxy. Lin Moyu hid in the darkness, looking at the star field and feeling the changes in it. He felt that the power of the Black Blood realm was gradually increasing and converging. "Let's see what you guys want to do." It has become a fact that the Demon Clan colludes with the Black Blood world. The current arrangement in the star field should be aimed at the Ghost Clan. But what they didn't expect was that the Ghost Tribe didn't come, but the army of Resurrectors came. Dealing with the strong men of the Black Blood realm again, Lin Moyu wanted to see the methods of the Black Blood realm again. Only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you be victorious in every battle. The more you know, the better you can make arrangements. Boom! A huge aura rose into the sky, and a big red tiger rushed toward him in the starry sky. "Asshole! Stop!" Amidst the roar, terrifying energy swept across, and beams of light pierced the starry sky. In an instant, dozens of resurrected beings were hit by the beam and turned into ashes on the spot. The Red Tiger clan arrived at the other side of the clan, and with boundless anger, he came towards the army of resurrected people. Moo! The calf also roared, and the sharp horns on its head erupted into boundless thunder, forming a sea of thunder in the starry sky. At the same time, the starry sky becomes sticky and space becomes like a swamp. Mavericks fought over and fought with the Red Tiger tribe on the other side. At the same time, hundreds of starry sky beasts that had reached the peak of their god status in the Resurrection Army also came back and cooperated with Mavericks to attack the Red Clan Tiger on the other side. The strength of Mavericks and the opponent is almost the same, but coupled with the cooperation of the peak god, the opponent has no chance of winning. But in this way, Mavericks can't be distracted and can't command the Resurrection Army. Lin Moyu suddenly realized and took over the command. He directed the army to continue attacking the Red Tiger clan. The Red Clan Tiger on the other side kept roaring, his voice getting more and more urgent, but he was tightly entangled with the calf and couldn't get away at all. He could only watch his homeland being destroyed and his people being killed. Chihu's eyes turned red, and a sea of blood formed in the starry sky, just like his hatred and anger. The power fluctuations in the Black Blood realm became more and more obvious, and the starry sky gradually darkened, just like a dark void, beginning to swallow up the light. When the power gathered to the limit, a black vortex appeared in the starry sky. The vortex swallowed up the starlight of billions of kilometers in radius, and then a man in black appeared. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly. It's finally here. The man in black comes from the Black Blood world and has a completely different atmosphere from the big world. Lines of blood flowed on the man in black, carrying a strong smell of blood. The smell of blood goes straight to the soul, making people nauseous. The man in black's gaze swept across the starry sky, and the next moment, the man in black exploded on the spot, breaking into countless lines of blood. The bloodlines were extremely fast, crossing the starry sky and piercing into the bodies of the resurrected people one after another. But the next second, these bloodlines returned one after another, and it seemed that they had no effect. The resurrected person remains the same, unaware of anything. As the master, Lin Moyu also had no feelings and had no idea what the other party had done. The bloodlines tightened and he turned into a man in black again. Although he was shrouded in black clothes and looked emotionless, Lin Moyu saw the shock in his eyes. Apparently he was surprised that his attack had no effect. Lin Moyu suddenly thought that in the dark void, a strong man from the same Black Blood world once controlled the giant beast in the sky. Could it be that he wants to control these starry sky beasts? If this is the case, it will indeed not succeed. The resurrected ones were not ordinary giant beasts in the starry sky. They came back from the dead and became Lin Moyu's slaves. How could they be controlled again? The man in black looked at Mavericks, who was fighting with Red Tiger on the other side, and his body became illusory. In the next second, he had crossed tens of millions of kilometers and entered the battle group. The man in black rushed into the sea of thunder and killed Mavericks. Maverick let out a muffled cry, and the thunder suddenly became violent, roaring and exploding in the starry sky. The man in black was blown away. Although he was not injured, he looked a little embarrassed. Maverick shouted in a low voice, "Where did this garbage come from? How dare you sneak up on me?" When the man in black appeared, Mavericks noticed him and kept staring at him. How could it be so easy to make a sneak attack? The man in black remained silent as a long sword appeared in his hand. The long sword is slightly curved and is different from the 3-foot green blade used by the human race. The cultivators of the Black Blood realm are good at using this kind of slightly curved sword, and the same is true for the one in the dark void. The two swords are 90% similar, but the one in the dark void has a more powerful sword. He is not as good as the one in the dark void. The realm seems to be comparable to the realm of the other shore, but it should be inferior to the Holy Lord. But if we cooperate with the secret method of the Black Blood world, we may have a fight with the Holy Lord. If we really fight, we will definitely lose. Lin Moyu quickly made a judgment that this cultivator from the Black Blood realm should be slightly stronger than the ordinary Other Side realm and not as good as the Holy Lord. In a head-on battle, the Mavericks are no match. What's more, Mavericks also has to deal with the Red Tiger clan on the other side. Seeing the man in black taking out a long sword, the calf suddenly felt a little scared. It felt a fatal threat. "Mom, this sword seems unusual. The Mavericks may be in trouble this time." The calf screamed in his heart, and suddenly he heard Lin Moyu's voice, "You 370 only deal with the Red Tiger clan." At this time, Lin Moyu's voice was like the sound of nature, extremely beautiful. Mavericks believed in Lin Moyu, turned around, and burst out of the Thunder Sea again, continuing to fight with the Red Tiger clan on the other side. The man in black was holding a sharp sword, and his body was flashing black and red light. Just as he was about to attack, layers of white mist suddenly appeared in front of him. The man in black almost instinctively drew his sword and swung out a sword energy. The white mist was dispersed by the sword energy, and the man in black also took advantage of the opportunity to rush into Maverick's Sea of Thunder. Boom! An explosion sounded, and the man in black exploded. A large amount of black energy came out of the man in black and red blood dripped in the starry sky. Then countless thunderbolts struck him, making it difficult for him to move, and the injuries became more severe for a while. After enduring a corpse explosion, the man in black was seriously injured, but he did not die. His vitality was extremely powerful. Lin Moyu used the starry sky beast from the Other Side realm as a weapon, but he failed to blow it up. If it doesn't work once, do it twice. If it doesn't work twice, do it 3 times. Immediately afterwards, there were 2 more roars. The man in black finally screamed, and his body was shattered in the explosion. A resurrector at the peak of the divine realm flew to the edge of the abyss demonic eye, opened his mouth and bit it, directly biting the abyss eye to pieces. Knocking out the abyss demonic eye means knocking out the demon clan sight here. There are some things that you can only see if I let you see them. Lin Moyu deliberately let the demon clan see the army of starry sky beasts, just to make the demon clan misunderstand. At the same time, he also knew that the Red Tiger clan was different from the previous small tribes, and whether it was destroyed or not would be of great significance to the entire 100 Clans alliance. I don't know how the battle is going on the front line. After this battle, even if the alliance of hundreds of clans does not fall apart, it will not be as united as before. The containment talisman array flashed past and collected all the flesh and blood of the man in black. On the front line, a war is about to break out. The Abyss Demon Lord's breath suddenly shook. The Abyss Demon Eye that I placed in the Red Tiger clan has been destroyed. Several saints looked over and asked, "How is the situation there?" The Abyss Demon Lord communicates with the Abyss Beholder to obtain the final information. The last thing the Abyss Demonic Eyes saw was that the man in black rushed into the Thunder Sea, and then nothing happened. The Demon Lord of the Abyss said, "The backup plan arranged by the Demon Lord has already taken action, so everything should be fine." Having said that, I don't know why, but I feel a little uneasy. The Demon Lord of the Abyss said, "I'm going to ask the Demon Lord to see what's going on there." As a rising flame, he wanted to contact the Demon Lord who was far away in the demon ancestral land. Suddenly his flames rose, danger warnings came from his soul, and a terrifying sword light tore through the starry sky in his sight. The Sword Saint took out his sword, and the sword seemed to cut through the galaxy, enveloping all the saints from the 100 Clans alliance. After the sword light, the God of War spear followed one after another, evolving into a 1,000,000-meter giant spear in the starry sky and flying towards him with a crash. As the Sword Saint and the War Saint took action, the war began. At this moment, the number of saints on the human side is not as high as that of the alliance of hundreds of clans. The War Saint, the Sword Saint, the Fu Saint, the Killing Saint, plus Lin Mohan, there are only 5 saints with fighting power. On the other hand, the alliance of 100 clans has the combat power of 6 saints. The Holy Lord's combat power is 1 less, and there is a huge difference between them. But the human race is not afraid, and they will fight if they want. Several holy lords quickly targeted their opponents. They were all old opponents. Only the newcomer, the Hell Demon Lord, had no opponent. The human race had been prepared for a long time, and the god of war's fortress suddenly flew out, turning into a terrifying war weapon, and directly faced the demon king of hell. In the fortress of the god of war, there are 10 and hundreds of peak gods from the other side to control and provide energy. Various weapons in the god of war's fortress were deployed one after another, launching an indiscriminate attack on the Hell Demon Lord. Every attack exceeds the other side. Even if it is not as good as the Holy Lord, the difference is not much. Even he can get hurt if he's not careful. The Demon Lord of Hell was stunned for a moment. He never imagined that the God of War fortress would be so strong. The fortress of the God of War is known as the strongest war weapon of the human race, which is comparable to the other side. Only now do I know that the claim is just a claim. The real combat power of the God of War fortress definitely exceeds that of the ordinary other side realm. The God of War fortress deployed its formation, locked the space, trapped the Hell Demon Lord, and forced himself to fight. The Demon King of Hell evolved into a boundless demon prison, and a God of War fortress was built in the west. The flames of hell came down like meteors, but they were all blocked by the God of War's fortress. The God of War's fortress has almost reached the extreme level of the human race in terms of formation and materials, and it is difficult for even the Holy Lord to destroy it. The Demon Lord of the Abyss once again faced Lin Mohan. The Demon Lord of the Abyss had infinite hatred in his eyes. This time, I will definitely kill you. Lin Mohan said coldly, let's see if you can escape this time. A shield appeared in front of the Abyss Demon Lord. The shield was made of white bones and looked particularly gloomy against the backdrop of the fire of the abyss. Then from behind the shield, another bone sword flew out. This is a sword and shield magic weapon, a holy level magic weapon, and it is very powerful. It took the Abyss Demon Lord more than 10 years to refine it while he was recovering from his injuries. Original fire, burn. The Abyss Demon Lord let out a low roar, and the original aura filled the air, becoming stronger and stronger. The fire of origin rises, fully stimulating the power of the sword and shield. The space made a crisp sound in the flames, and was burned apart one after another. Lin Mohan slashed out a sword energy at will, and the shield quickly grew in size, evolving into thousands of bone shields, protecting the Abyss Demon Lord 360 degrees without blind spots. The sword energy struck the shield without any ripple, and the Abyss Demon Lord laughed loudly. With the protection of the bone shield, you can't hurt me at all. I will use the original fire to burn you to ashes little by little. Lin Mohan sneered, you already said the same thing 30 years ago. Cut the air with one sword. The bright sword light tore through the galaxy and enveloped the Abyss Demon Lord overwhelmingly. The Demon Lord of the Abyss showed no fear at all. He used his shield to defend himself and at the same time used his sword to slash at Lin Mohan. At this time, Lin Mohan suddenly shouted, explode. Boom! The bone shield and bone sword in the hands of the Abyss Demon Lord exploded at the same time.